G'day guys, Dave Geary.
Hi everyone, Daniel Hastings here, and end of financial year for the 22-23 financial year, that is, the July 2023 video blog for Illawarra Real Estate. And as always, why break tradition, David?
Why not?
Go with the stats, man.
Get some stats first and then we'll get into what happened.
What have you seen in the last month or so? And we can also touch on the financial year to some degree too.
We'll do. So the last month, so in 250 area code, the housing markets kind of had a funny little change, but there's 16 houses that have been sold in and around Wollongong.
In 1 month.
In one month, in that 250 area code. So that takes not into account just Wollongong, but the adjoining suburbs like Kirrawong.
It's a big postcode area, isn't it?
It is.
And it's not a lot of houses.
No, there's not. That's 16 houses.
16 houses in
all agents.
About 5 suburbs.
And all agents. Where the funny stat was that the unit market, the strata market was 45. So a lot more density in the city, therefore that's the stat as well. But with the houses, the dearest house that sold around the Wollongong was 3.5 million. Okay. With the apartments, it's funny, the dearest was 4.25. And that was down on Cliff Road, obviously, as well. Yes. But the funny thing is, the stats on the houses, the cheapest house was 792 out of Mount St Thomas, while in the apartments it was 318,000 for a little one-bedroom over near North Wollongong Hotel. So it's funny, it's got the highest and the lowest in the city in the apartments, where the housing's a lot more tighter. All right, so the median pricing in Wollongong at the moment for housing is 1,110,000.
Yep.
Right, so that's the recent stat in there, with apartments around the 680 mark, somewhere in that vicinity there.
Yeah.
So it's a big because the apartments there's a lot more variations of style of property.
There's been a lot of development in the last 3 years, especially.
Oh, 100%.
So there's more opportunities.
Yep.
Maybe more affordable opportunities now. Maybe some people were preferring to look for a house and they've had to consider a plan B in relation to unit living, strata living of some sort.
Correct.
So I think that's evidence of that.
Funny days on market, which is an interesting stat. We always look at that as well. It's very important, and it's kind of gone up by about 15% lately.
So it's about last year or so, isn't it?
This more this year. All this year has had the major change, and that's gone up to 46 days on the market.
Yeah.
All right. So
and what did we see in the hot markets? It was probably not even 30, was it? So a couple of years ago now. So it's been a doubling, roughly. Doubling of days on market. So that's an indicator of how things have become a lot more balanced compared to those extreme days a little while ago.
Interesting stat is that is for the month just gone in June.
Yep.
So June, but it's been that same follow through all this financial year. And what's your thoughts on the financial year that's just gone and where we're going this year?
We've done very well. I think I talk about the numerous interest rate rises we've had, and as a state or a country or a region, and we've said it before. In May, May 22, we saw the first interest rates begin, and we had a correction. It dropped. I don't know. Depending on the suburb, you could say roughly 10%. But interestingly, and you tell me your thoughts, but generally speaking, it's corrected and it's stayed, despite all those interest rate rises. There might have been only very minor deviations from month to month on that.
A question I was asked recently: why has it stabilised? And I think that due to the prices changing, there's been less stock on the market.
Yep.
Therefore, but there's still that same amount of buyer.
Yep.
So therefore, it kind of balanced the market out instead of being oversupply and under demand. It kind of put that a lot closer.
It's been look, thankfully, I mean, there's talk of this mortgage cliff and so forth. I don't know if we're going to see a dramatic fall. I think if we're going to see big falls, we probably would have seen stronger signs of that already. I'm not Nostradamus, we'll have to see what evolves there, but that will be interesting just to see how much of an impact things have. And I think, look, there's a lot of people that go out there saying, keep in mind that there's only 30% of the population that are actually mortgage holders.
Correct. Yep.
So, that's not exactly 70% or anything like that. So hopefully, again, it's all about that word balance, and that gets maintained fairly well for the rest of this calendar year, at least. Yeah.
Well, with interest rates not going up today, what's your thoughts now?
Yeah, look, it's a welcome relief. I'm sure it'll make people very comfortable. I think the fairly healthy market conditions that we've seen of late should be maintained for certainly the next few months. I think that'll help give that little bit of reprieve, which will give a little bit more buyer confidence. So
excellent.
It should mean that sellers shouldn't be hesitating at the moment, because things are still very much a very workable market.
It is. All right, guys, I think that's a wrap for the end of the financial year.
Happy new financial year.
Yep.
And
Talk to you next month.
See you soon.